What's up? What's up? All right, man. We are here. This is it, man. Spider-Man, brand new day. I'm not gonna be long. I'm gonna be quick. Um, we'll just talk about the length of this. I wanted to play some more like cinematic stuff in the background, but I couldn't find anything that was like long. And I really didn't want anything to play in between. So it's the cast right here. This is like the core cast. The guy that played Punisher, you got Ned, you got Spider-Man, you got MJ, and you also have the partial antagonist turned ally. Man, I'm not gonna be able to remember her name in a moment. I don't know why I be going blank like that. She is Jean Grey. That is the name. So if you are any type of Marvel's fan, and I didn't do my research beforehand to point out or recognize that Jean Grey would be in this movie. Jean Grey is a very powerful mutant. She is she has to be. She's more powerful than Charles Xavier. She was almost uncontrollable. I think that she well they made a movie about her before Disney bought out Fox. They made a pretty much a Jean Grey movie. It's called The Dark Phoenix or something like that. Back in the day, it was a famous actress that played her. Not a super famous, maybe like now she's maybe like B-list, but she has a very recognizable face. I don't really see her doing a whole bunch of movies. I can't really name a movie outside of X-Men that she has done. But definitely probably one of the most powerful mutants ever. And they reintroduced her right here in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So she is, this is spoilers, all right? We're gonna talk spoilers in these couple minutes that we're gonna be on here. She is reintroduced here in Spider-Man Brand New Day as a young mutant. Coming up back in the Fox, the early 2000s, the late 90s, early 2000s. I think it came out in the late 90s. X-Men's Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was his like main love interest. She would go in between him and Cyclops, right? And from what I understand, they feel like all of these X-Men are going to be introduced, Cyclops as well, in this new era of the MCU. But let's stay on topic and talk about it. So I'm not gonna be fake with y'all, alright? This particular movie, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but we will touch on a few controversial topics that aren't really super specific to this movie, right? Is this the best Spider-Man? Let's narrow it down. Is this the best Spider-Man Tom Holland movie? Okay. You got Spider-Man Homecoming. You got Spider-Man Far From Home. You got Spider-Man No Way Home. And you have Spider-Man Brand New Day. My biggest gripe with the first three films is that it was very like kid friendly, even though like not kid friendly, but it was very, I'm gonna say, childish. Especially when it was in high school. That was the first one. The second one, it was just kids, right? A bunch of kiddie, just it had kiddie vibes to it. It really wasn't like super serious. It was always like, I don't know, just a little kid. We was watching a little kid grow up, which is not bad. It's just that it's not the type of movie that I would favor, but it was a good movie, right? Homecoming is okay, but that's not one of the movies I would rewatch like crazy. Far From Home, pretty good. it had more, especially hold on, Far From Home. Yeah, that was the second one. Far From Home. That's the one that had Mysterio in it. Great because that one was great because they played. I think, and this is where they got inspiration for the Spider-Man game. This is probably why I like it even more than even first watching it. The Mysterio v Spider-Man thing and the whole Mysterio playing with your reality and and this just the CG and the scenes that they created in Spider-Man 2 were very good. I really enjoyed it. The action scenes in that were great. It was just visually just very good. Spider-Man Far From Home. I replayed that one a few times. I'm not gonna lie. I think I bought all of them because Spider-Man was the first big superhero in my lenses that I watched. So when even when Andrew dropped, I had to pay attention to that. And then when they introduced Spider-Man in the MCU, same deal. I enjoy a darker, like kind of like a more darker storyline. So watching the kid stuff is not as, it doesn't grab me as much, right? So Homecoming, very little replay value for me, but it's still a good movie. You have to be honest and understand it's still a good movie in general. Far From Home, some of the scenes and the action, a lot of CGI on. By the way, let's point out that difference. There was a lot of heavy CGI on Spider-Man, especially on, matter of fact, on all first three. A lot of more CGI Spider-Man, right? Not just that, even when they introduced them in Civil War, that's over 50% of Spider-Man is CGI in those movies. Brand New Day, we're seeing more Toby-esque type Spider-Man, right? You're seeing more actual real shots for Spider-Man doing action. Is there still CGI? Of course, right? Spider-Man No Way Home. This is where the conversation gets tricky because for nostalgia purposes, No Way Home was crazy, right? No Way Home was crazy. They had first of all, they had Doctor Strange in there. That was a special cameo. Sorry about that. Yeah, special cameo with Doctor Strange. Okay. That's all I can think of from the top of my head that are immediate allies. But then they went ahead and brought in Toby's Peter, Andrew's Peter, and then they brought in all the iconic villains from that those other two universes use on a regular basis. So you had the Lizard, which was man, why can't I remember his name? You had Dr. Octavius, and you had the Green Goblin, and they also brought in I don't think you call him the Shocker. Do you call him the Shocker? Jamie Foxx, the one that used electricity. I'm sorry, y'all. I wish I was really like more like crazy in depth with it. I didn't, I'm really shooting this off the hip. I hope y'all forgive me. I hope y'all cool with that. Hopefully, it's more people in here that are, I kind of like that and are cool with that. But I want to be natural as possible. But No Way Home pulled in a lot of elements from a lot of different places, and it revamped a lot of things about it, and it was pretty. That was a big nostalgia piece. Woo! Brand New Day. It explored our new Spider-Man now as a man. Okay. It explored him as a man. Pretty much no more kitty stuff. Everything was like, even the colors, everything was like filtered through a more dull lens. It looked more just like not, it wasn't poppy. It wasn't real poppy. It didn't make you, you know, it was more like, just like the mood of Spider-Man. He's in a darker place. I don't even want to say darker. He's just in a dark place now because he's alone and struggling with a lot of internal stuff. So this is a more relatable Spider-Man for somebody like me that's a grown man. And I think for the simple fact that I can relate with it more, it has the most replay value for me. I think it has the most replay value for me. Now, this movie also gives me like vibes from the game. I am a gamer, especially honestly, Spider-Man, the game series from Insomniac. That's the only reason I bought up. Not the only reason, but that was the selling point for me to buy a PlayStation, because you cannot play Spider-Man on any other system, not the Insomniac version. Maybe you can play the other version, like older versions, other versions of it on other systems, but I wanted to play Spider-Man Insomniac, and that was the only way. And that was the selling point for me to buy a PlayStation. So the vibe of Peter, aka Spider-Man, having a correspondent in law enforcement gives me major vibes from Spider-Man. I think it's called The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, that's the name of the game, The Amazing Spider-Man. Great game. Those are some of the vibes that I'm getting. Those vibes, just like with the Mysterio one, the second Spider-Man from Tom. Lot of, is it the second one? The Mysterio one, yeah. I think in the second movie, the game copied off of the second movie, but in this fourth movie, Brand New Day, I think the movie had to reach back to the game. So that's all good, man. Now, so Brand New Day has the most replay value for me, but I think honestly, technically, ooh, and I really like the second one. I ain't gonna lie, I really like the second one. Like I said, I played the second one a lot. First one, the lowest replay value. The second one has more replay value than the third one for me. Even though that has so much nostalgia pieces, the second one had way more replay value because just to that Mysterio aspect. And Jake Gyllenhaal is, I really enjoy him as an actor as well. I enjoy his work. That movie was just, for me, it was well made. Even though it was still kind of in the kiddie aspect, it was very well made. I think I prefer, which is kind of sounds crazy, I prefer to watch the second one over the third one, but the third one technically is really good. Crazy moments that, especially when you first see it, it's like, wow, seeing all the Spider-Man in one place. All the Spider-Man from this, what we call it? Not decade, but just the major Spider-Man from the 2000s. How about that? All major Spider-Man from the 2000s together in one room. Toby, Andrew, and Tom. Another conversation. So let me just clarify. The second one is very, very, very entertaining for me. It has probably some of the best replay value for me. If I had to rank them, and I think this is because I played the game, I think that's why. Because of its relation to the actual game, bro, the second one probably has the greatest replay value. It's just the action and Mysterio and just like the plot twist to it, and just like, it was honestly just a really great movie, right? The third one was really good, but I think it's just, it shock values you for that first time you watch it, but it's like it's really as just a movie in general. I don't know, man. It's really good. At this very moment, I'm still dissecting Spider-Man Brand New Day. So I think what I'm going to say is this is kind of crazy. For me, at this very moment, Spider-Man Far From Home has the most replay value. I ain't heard nobody say that. I'm saying this because this is really how I feel. Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm looking it up to see what its rating is. It has a 7.3 out of 10. Yeah, I might be jaded because of the game. Spider-Man No Way Home. Everybody, yeah. This has an 8.1 out of 10. So technically, I'm not going to lie, 8.1 with all the elements and everything included. It technically is like the most attractive Spider-Man. You got Toby in there. You got Andrew in there. You got all the classic villains from those previous Spider-Man franchises in there. All the stuff you know and love. It's crazy to see those Spider-Man back on the screen. It's really like mind-blowing. The first time you watch it. The second time, it's still like, wow. As you continue watching, it's just not as... it's just my opinion. Now, let's look up Spider-Man Brand New Day. Currently has an 8.2 out of 10. Higher rating than No Way Home. What I like about Brand New Day is that they moved the needle further left. Let's say this is CGI and this is like live action. The past Spider-Man, especially the second one and the third one, very heavy on CGI, right? But I feel like they moved that needle back to capture more live action, and that part is a W. Even though I didn't have a problem with the CGI. Like I say, I love the second one. CGI is crazy in that one. Crazy. It's just very well done. Seeing it's like a throwback or homage to the Toby ones, because that was like very little to no, that was very minimal CGI. A lot of that stuff was just straight up, especially the first movie. But for me, highest replay value, Spider-Man Far From Home. That's probably my favorite Tom one. Alright. Brand New Day, for me, I would probably score Brand New. If I had to score Brand New Day, I wouldn't score 8 out of 10, man. If I had to put them on a tier list, right? Bottom of the list, out of 4, bottom of the list is going to be Homecoming. Taking spot 3. Ooh, jeez Louise, dude. Oh my gosh. This is hard now. Ooh. Only time will tell, too. I mean, Brand New Day was good. How could it be the best? It just can't. It was good. I'm gonna have to put Brand New Day at 3, dude. Oh my gosh. Brand New Day at 3. I'm going to put the Mysterio one at 2, which is Spider-Man Far From Home. And I'm going to put the nostalgic one at 1 because it was a lot of stuff in there, bro. It was just jam-packed. It was so jam-packed. Even though 2 has the highest, the second one has the highest replay value for me, I think that I'm going to put the second one in second place. And I'm going to put No Way Home. This is as far as watching. I think I would probably rather watch. You know what? I think I'm going to have to change that list, dude. I'm going to have to change that, bro. Dang, I really like the Mysterio one better than. I like the Mysterio one better than the homage one with all the Peters in it. The second movie is gonna stay at number 2. The third movie is gonna be at number 3. The first movie is gonna be at number 4. The new movie is gonna be at number 1. Spider-Man 4. I'm gonna have to give it to Spider-Man 4 because of the elements, not because of the rewatch value, but because of where Spider-Man is now, the maturity of the franchise, where it is now. He's a man now. Let me see. What else can I say, man? What else can I say? Like, I always feel like your last should be your best, and I think in a way this kind of is. I think I'm stuck on 2 because of nostalgia. But truthfully, I'd have to put it at number 2 for me, and put Brand New Day at number 1. I think I'll probably be more solid in that, especially when it comes out on digital. I can really watch it in full resolution and sound at home. I went to the movies and saw it, of course, had to. Unfortunately, a little tired, but I was able to get the gist, and I watched it again and I got the full picture. But yeah, that's what I gotta say. Spider-Man Brand New Day. That is the best Tom Spider-Man so far. Now, let's get even crazier. Let's just take it one little step further, right? Who is the best? No, I'm sorry. Let's take it one step further. What is the best Spider-Man movie, period? What is the best Spider-Man movie, period? Let's just pick one from each, right? So the best Tobey Spider-Man, dang, it's probably the first one. The best Tobey Spider-Man is probably the first one. The second one was cool. The third one is the most memorable. Well, the third one is probably the second memorable. The third one is probably my favorite, but the first one is probably the best. I'm pretty sure his origin story is the best out of all the Spider-Man. Tom don't even have an origin story. Tom Holland Spider-Man don't even have an origin story. Out of origin stories, you got Andrew and Tobey, and I feel like Tobey's is the best. So his first film really holds a lot of weight. I really like the third one for a few reasons, but I think Tobey's first movie is the best out of that franchise. So Tobey Spider-Man 1. It's the same for Andrew as well. The first Spider-Man, his origin story wasn't as good, but just out of those two films, I feel like the second film was it just wasn't as well put together as the first one. So we're gonna have to pick the first movie from Andrew Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. All right. Now, what is the best movie from Tom Holland out of those three? Okay. Out of those four, I'm sorry. He has 4 movies now. Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I just said Brand New Day has to be the best one. How could it not be? This is a different movie than the last 3 for sure. It was shot different. It got a different vibe. Spider-Man's grown now. He ain't got his auntie no more. He's really out on his own in his world. He's really alone. He lost everybody. His superhero clique, everybody. So he's really alone. He's really like for real Spider-Man now, for real. Spider-Man has always been alone. His identity has always been classified. Da 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 da. He's actually really Spider-Man now. So I'ma still say technically. Ooh, and I'm really conflicting myself a lot here. If you look at the numbers though, forget what I feel. Spider-Man 2 is not doing how I feel it's supposed to do. I feel a different way than the whole world feels about Spider-Man. Tom Spider-Man 2, which is Spider-Man Far From Home. Technically the best is if we look at the ratings, the best right now is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. If you're looking at it like that. If we look at Spider-Man No Way Home, 1 million people voted and has 8.1 out of 10. If we look at, I like No Way Home too, but if we look at Spider-Man Brand New Day, so far on IMDb, only 142,000 people have voted. So once you get that other 950k votes, you know what I'm saying, then we'll have a real understanding. I'm not gonna lie, I think No Way Home is gonna outperform that. So with that being said, I'm gonna say that No Way Home is probably still gonna hold its place as the best Spider-Man movie from the Tom franchise. So you got Tobey's origin story, first Spider-Man entry. You got Andrew's origin story, first Spider-Man entry, and then you got Tom's third Spider-Man movie that has all of the OG villains. Oh man, I can answer it right now, bro. The best Spider-Man movie, Tobey Spider-Man 1. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna look it up to see what rating it has. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2002. It only has a 7.4. Dang. And I'm gonna look at his other movies too. You got Spider-Man 2 has a 7.5. Dang, so that one actually might be, wow. Yeah, Spider-Man 3 actually did the worst. Spider-Man 3 did the worst out of all three Tobey films. Spider-Man 2 actually kind of did better than Spider-Man 1. But I think the origin story for me is more interesting than that Spider-Man 2 stuff for Tobey. Wow, bro. Wow. What can I say, man? I'm gonna have to say Tobey's first entry. When we think of Spider-Man, that is who really created the overall vibe of who Spider-Man is. If there was no Tobey, there would be no Tom, bro. That's real talk. If there was no Tobey, Tom would have nothing to go off of, bro. I think that the innocence of Tobey in that first movie, the sincereness, it's like Andrew got to stand on his shoulders and then just give it a like a hybrid identity, not making him too nerdy and then not making him too cool, which was Andrew's interpretation, right? Toby had, and this is another crazy thing about the movie, Toby Spider-Man had organic webs that shot out of his wrist, while Andrew Spider-Man had synthetic webs that he concocted in the lab. They gave my guy Tom synthetic webs to start with. Now, in this fourth one, now that he's going through changes, apparently he's going through like hormonal changes, and his spider DNA is morphing. He now has organic webs. So there would be no Tom. Not at least not a successful version of the Tom Holland Spider-Man if it wasn't for Toby. Most importantly, if it wasn't for Toby. And then also Andrew as well. But we're going to give most of that credit to Toby. Andrew does have his own Spider-Man though. Andrew has his own Spider-Man, his own vibe. But it's not matching Toby's. It's not matching it. But you have to give him props to OG because he had a really good first movie. The second movie wasn't bad. It might Andrew's second movie might actually be better than Toby's third movie. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think it's a little better. It got a 6.6 with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 got a 6.6 while Toby Spider-Man 3. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 got a 6.6 while Toby Spider-Man 3 received a 6.5. Alright. They probably in about the same. Who is the best Spider-Man? Who is the best Spider-Man? Let's take Andrew off the list, man. Shout out to Andrew. W's. I remember when your first movie was coming out, your first Spider-Man movie was coming out. It was amazing. You're a great actor, but as Spider-Man, I don't feel like you're the best out of the three. But you were really great. I will never forget 2012. I bought my first flat screen TV. I was playing that trailer for the first Spider-Man that was coming out. I was playing it over and over and over again. I played that trailer over and over in 2012. I'll never forget it, bro. Shout out to you. 2012 is the year I went off to college, so it's just a lot in that time period, right? So let's talk about Tom and let's talk about Toby. Toby is the real Spider-Man. He's the real one. The original, let's say that. He is the original. He is the template. He is the blueprint. He's the freaking blueprint, man. Like I just said earlier, if there was no him, what would be Tom's reference? This Spider-Man would be nowhere near as good as it is. With that being said, overall, and it's really not even a fair comparison. It's not even fair, bro. But overall, through the history of all the Spider-Man, taking in the W's, taking in the loss, taking in the chops from the Spider-Man crying meme was a freaking meme for so long, even way past. I think there wasn't even memes like that back when Spider-Man was crying. But that was Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 1. They made so much fun of him crying because it looks ridiculous, right? Toby, you're not a good crier. But when you mad, I feel it. When you're sincere, I feel it. uh I really believed you were who you were on screen. Like, you weren't acting. That is you. You are the essence of Spider-Man. It is you, Toby. You are it. You are the essence, the original. Now, when Spider-Man from the MCU was introduced in Captain America Civil War, we saw a different version of Spider-Man. We didn't see a super nerd, and we didn't see this cool emo kid. Not even cool. Let's just call him emo. We didn't see this like emo, just like emo kid that was just like to himself, but became Spider-Man, right? A loner, if you will. We saw a very high energy kid that you can tell was pure. Best way I can put it. Like, just a kid that didn't have any ulterior motives, just wanted to be there, wanted to help, wanted to be a part, wanted to prove himself. No origin story, just assumed. And that is because of the groundwork that mostly Toby, but we give Andrew some credit in that too, but mostly Toby, the groundwork that they laid as Spider-Man, we didn't even have to do another origin story for him. He got bit by a spider and he became Spider-Man. Different guy, kind of nerdy, but just an awkward teenager. That was his. He was just an awkward teenager. An awkward teenager. And honestly, it was kind of a new look, but it combined both of those worlds. Not a super nerd, and he wasn't really like the most coordinated, cool dude. He was a combination of the two. Now, from looking at those numbers, movie-wise, Tom has the best Spider-Man movies. Out of the first Spider-Man movie, out of the first Tobey Spider-Man movie, the first Andrew Spider-Man movie, and then No Way Home, which is Tom's third Spider-Man movie. We have to give it to Tom. I feel like we just have to give it to Tom. I cannot negate the groundwork that was laid by the first two Spider-Man. It is not to be negated. It's there. It's laid. It helped lay the foundation for what Spider-Man is today. If we didn't have that in the back of our minds, even if Tom didn't have that in the back of his mind, the direction for Spider-Man wouldn't be probably anywhere near where it is. So we got to give homage to the OG. But I think strictly because of the time that Tom has had to establish this character, the time that Marvel has had to establish this character, the time that Disney has had to establish this character, not only in his own 4 Sony standalone movies, but also throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all of the movies that he's been in Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War. What else was he in? Was he in more than that? How many Marvel movies was Tom Holland Spider-Man in? 7. So it's 7. So it was Endgame, Infinity War, and Captain America Civil War, as well as his own 4 standalone movies. Just the establishment of his character and the growth. I think we've seen enough of him, especially as far as growth, to put him up against Toby, who we've seen a lot from as well. We've seen him go from one end to the other, right? From being a high school kid to being a grown man. I don't think they ever got to the point of kids, but I think that they were at that point. But now Tom is a man. We've seen him go from a freaking 15 or 16-year-old to now he's a man. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years since Captain America Civil War. Definitely has. And I think we're there, man. I think we made it to the point where we can put him up against Toby for sure. Toby is the original. But as far as, let me think of the right word. As far as range, Toby would not be able to do. Toby can't do a backflip. I don't think he could ever do one. I think Tom as Spider-Man in this time, it don't matter if you bring Toby back. Tom as Spider-Man in this time is the best freaking Spider-Man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. End of story, man. That's it, man. This has been a long video. I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry, bro. But we are going to end it right here, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation, man. Really, that's how I like to think of it, man. Just a conversation, opportunity for us to really just talk about it all, man, and kind of like just put a lot of thoughts together, man. I've been like kind of analyzing movies, and not just the movies, the actors, acting, all that for a long time, man. And I think technically, if I'm looking at it from a technical standpoint, No Way Home is probably the best Spider-Man movie, because it got all the freaking Spider-Man in it. It got all the Spider-Man in it. It got the most goated villains. Yeah, I mean, that's really not a knock on the other spot, because it has all of it. It took all of those elements and put it up here. So when all of them were on the same screen, bro, Tom, No Way Home, all of them was on the same screen. Tom still shined, bro. He still shined. To be honest, bro, Tom is number 1, Toby number 2, Andrew number 3. Tom just had plenty of time to prove himself. If Tom only had 3 films, I think it'd be a wrap for him. We still fall back to Toby, but I think Tom has been able to establish himself. He's proved himself. Argue with me in the comments, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking me on another banger. Until next time, be easy. Peace.